Hi, I'm Kathy DeGraw, and Jesus took me to heaven to meet someone very special. Years ago, I was pregnant, and I was so excited to have my baby. But unfortunately, my pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. I remember my friend being pregnant at the same time, and we took two different paths to healing. I sought out Jesus because I knew He was all I had, and she went and got some counseling. Both were good paths, but for me, I love that I took the path to Jesus. I had spent 2 years of my life prostrate on the floor, seeking Jesus just because I wanted Him. When He called me to go away on a spiritual retreat, He wanted me to lock myself up alone with Him. I remember being on my back, laid out with my arms, and just being in the presence of the Lord. I was having visions after visions. I saw myself on a surgery table being healed. The Lord would speak to me. It was 45 minutes of constant communication when all of a sudden the Lord stood right before me. And He said, "Kathy, take my hand." And I reached out my hand and I took the Lord's hand. And as I did that, I saw and I felt my spirit leave my body. And Jesus brought me into heaven. He brought me to meet my son, that very special person. I saw the room that He had prepared for me, and I saw a bassinet in that room. But when I looked, next to Jesus was my son, all grown up. He was 9 years old then. He looked just like my husband, black curly hair. And he said, "Mom, I am so proud of you. I am so proud." And we got to talk, and Jesus took me around heaven with my son and showed me how my son had been playing ball and different things. And it was just such a beautiful, intimate moment. It was a moment of healing for a trauma that I had experienced in that loss. I remember Jesus bringing me back down to earth, my spirit going back into my body. And then I heard the Lord say, "Get up, walk down by the lake." I walked by the lake, was prostrate on the dock, and I heard the Lord continue to reveal and heal me of the loss of that child. And honestly, I didn't always know I needed healing. I thought I had dealt with every issue. And I looked up to the Lord and I said, "Lord, why are you doing this? Why are you showing me this?" I was sobbing. And He said, "Kathy, you've been faithful. You were in that secret place. You longed for me, and I want to give you this as a blessing." I remember I couldn't talk afterwards. I couldn't tell my husband for a while. I drove home from that retreat. I was so in awe of what the Lord did. But after I came home, I was in the ministry of deliverance. Jesus imparted something to me, something I want to impart into you, my friends. I started ministering, and as I did inner healing and deliverance on people who had lost a child to abortion, the morning after pill, miscarriage, even people that had lost children that were 1 and 2 years old, the Holy Spirit would quicken me and He would say, "Kathy, lay your hands on their head. Don't say anything yet, just lay your hands." And as I laid my hands on their head, they would feel the glory of God, the presence of God come upon them. And I would say to them, "Let's walk through the healing process for you." Jesus gave me something beautiful that day, and I didn't tell them what it was. I've very seldom shared this story, but the Holy Spirit had me, used me to help heal people in the same way, because He wants to heal some of you too. And this isn't just for women who have lost children. We've done it on men too. And so as I laid my hands on these people individually in their deliverance sessions, I would say, ask the Holy Spirit, do you know if it was a boy or a girl you lost? And half the people already knew if it was a boy or a girl. And the other half didn't. And I'd be like, ask the Holy Spirit. And right there, the Holy Spirit would show them. And I'd take them a step further through the healing process, and I would say, do you have a name for them? Have you ever named them? Friends, I want to say that to you today. If you've lost a child, have you ever named them? Ask the Holy Spirit, what is the name? And then the Holy Spirit would tell me, don't tell them they're going to see a vision. But now I want you just to lay your hands on their head and pray. And He would take them and He would give them a vision right there in our ministry session of their child, of some of them having multiple children. And He would show them, and people would sob, and it would bring them such freedom. And what I want to say to you is the Holy Spirit who did this for me and did it for all these other people, He can do it for you. So right now, you've lost a child. Are you hurting? Are you grieving? Even if you're not hurting and grieving, if you have a sense of peace, do you want further healing? Would you like to see them? Get in the presence of God. Worship. Pray. Ask the Holy Spirit to reveal to you. Pray and ask. Sit quietly in His presence and say, is it a boy or a girl? And then wait upon the Lord and see if He shows you the name or if you already knew inside what the name was. Friends, I know some of you are feeling the presence of God right now, and I'm so grateful that He wants to heal you too. So right now, I'm just asking for His presence to go on your mind right now. I lay my hands on your mind, and I just pray that same impartation, that the Holy Spirit would love upon you and heal you as Jesus showed me that vision and encounter. And friends, I just want to pray in the Spirit a minute, because as I lay hands on you in the Spirit and pray in the Spirit, that's when we've seen the most visions of heaven and your children manifest. And I'm believing God for you in that moment. I just pray the peace of God that surpasses all understanding would heal your wounds, that you would have the spirit of understanding of how much He loves you and your children in heaven love you. And just like my son said, I'm proud of you, Mom. I know your children are proud of you. Get in the presence of God and allow Him to heal your wounds.